Joining me today for our weekly sports talk is our Erik Bay. Erik, it's always a pleasure getting to chat sports with you.
Yeah, for sure. Always a great time to start off the week with some sports.
And now there actually is sports that we can be talking about, actually sports in action. One sport that's going on is the NBA, just touching on it. The Toronto Raptors are the first and only team so far to have swept their first round series, winning 4-0 over the Brooklyn Nets. Erik, they are your pick from the East. What did you think of that first round series?
Hey, don't shortchange me. They're my pick to win it all. But no, obviously the Raptors did what they're supposed to do. It's a 2 versus 7 seed. So again, you're looking at the Raptors and they're expected to win this one. And I think the way they did it, though, is telling how they could do the rest of the postseason. Obviously, Kyle Lowry may be limited here on out with that ankle being sprained, but their bench obviously picked it up here in this last game, and that's going to need to continue. It's happened all through the bubble play as well. So that's what the Raptors need to be successful, and that's what we'll be looking for from here on out for them.
Yeah, they won, scoring 150 points in Game 4 over the Nets, and that was all by committee. So like you said, players coming off the bench, they're going to have to continue to do this and pick up where Kyle Lowry will not be, I guess, resuming what he was doing. Now changing gears here to another sport, the MLB season is about halfway over. Erik, for a while, we were a little nervous that this MLB season would only get, maybe a week into it. How do you think it's gone so far?
I mean, there's been ups and downs. It's hard to say how it's gone from the perspective of COVID management. I think from how it's gone, though, as the perspective of the play on the field, it's been pretty good. Obviously, we've seen some teams like the Yankees and also the Dodgers do what they're supposed to do. The Rays have come along here too and overtaken the Yankees recently. So we've seen some great baseball team-wise and also some great individual efforts as well early on. When you talk about guys like Fernando Tatis, Mookie Betts is still mashing out there. Nelson Cruz has picked it up recently as well. So from the perspective of on-the-field play, it's a great time to be a baseball fan. It's just, can they stay on the field with everything COVID happening outside the bubble?
And with these great players, you just mentioned two National League players. Erik, why don't you give us your mid-season pick for the National League MVP?
Yeah, well, if you asked me a few days ago, this was Fernando Tatis Jr. by a long shot. However, I think Mookie Betts has closed the gap. So this is going to be a fantastic race here as we go to the end. I still think it is Fernando Tatis. Just when you look at his stats, again, 12 dingers, 29 RBIs, leads the league in those categories, as well as walks, stolen bases. So he's really doing it all from an offensive perspective as a young guy, and also his defense, too, is impeccable. So I think he's really the guy that is stirring the drink that is the San Diego Padres, and watch out for them. They've been hot, second in the NL West, so it's going to be an exciting race to the finish.
He's also gutsy enough to swing on a 3-0 pitch, so he always does have that as well. For me, if you asked me, last week, I probably would have told you Charlie Blackmon is my pick for NL MVP. But now, that batting average has dropped over the weekend down to 405. So I don't know. It does look like it might be that three-horse race with Mookie Betts also being thrown in there. But it's tough to really decide. Now, give me your AL MVP, Erik.
Yeah, again, this has obviously changed in the past few days with Jose Abreu busting out of nowhere, and the White Sox as well. They're doing better than expected, earlier than expected, I would say. But for me, I'm going to stick with Brandon Lowe. He's with the Tampa Bay Rays, who are leading the AL East in what was supposed to be a runaway by some people for the Yankees and inevitable Yankees-Dodgers World Series. But Brandon Lowe has really helped the Rays and a team that is known for their pitching, not so much for their offense, but their offense has picked it up. They're playing very well. Lowe has 9 homers, 25 RBIs, and also he plays everywhere. He's listed as a second baseman, but he's played some outfield. He plays some third base as well when needed. So just the fact that he is so versatile as well, and just at how well the Rays are doing, I think he's been very valuable to this team and is good enough to be AL MVP right now.
Now, we've also seen some fantastic pitching this season. Why don't you take me through your AL Cy Young Award winner?
Yeah, and I think this is a little bit easier than the MVP candidacy just because, again, all those guys are so close on the offensive side of the ball, and then you could even throw this guy in the mix too at pitcher. And for me, it's Shane Bieber. The guy has been lights out. His knuckle curve is practically unhittable. He throws 4 pitches competitively and can find great location. He's sitting at 5-0 right now with an AL leading 1.11 ERA. And again, just how well he's pitching, although I wouldn't count Lance Lynn out just yet, just based on the fact he can throw some complete games. He's built to be a long workhorse, and that could hold up a little bit better here over the back end of the season with what was kind of a short summer camp. But right now, Shane Bieber's been unhittable. I
totally agree with you when it comes to the American League. National League, Eric, my pick is Trevor Bauer. I mean, he's been lights out. He has a .68 ERA, only given up 8 hits all season long. So for me, that's my National League Cy Young Award winner. Eric, I can't wait to see the second half of this MLB season and really just sports in general. Thanks for taking the time and chatting with me.
No problem. Looking forward to it too. It's going to be fun.